What's up guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Lucid.
And I'm Upsurd.
We recently released our EP called Afterlife.
Today we want to give you a more detailed insight into the third beat of the EP called Blossom. And give you a little breakdown on how we made this beat.
Make sure to watch the entire video, we might have a little surprise for you in the end.
Our EP is generally characterized by a soul-like vintage sound. The third track on this EP, called Blossom, is for me personally the highlight because it has this special, powerful and energetic feeling that you get when you listen to an old vintage soul song. So I started off with this piano progression. I tried to play a little bit with the rhythm and with the velocity to give it this classical soul feeling. I used this piano for the progression, turning the knob a little bit to the side of hard to give the keys a little bit more of color and a more defined sound. To get a more vintage-like sounding, we have to put some effects on the piano. So first of all, we cut some of these low frequencies out there. Then we put a tape effect on it. After that, we added Context Raum. It's a reverb plugin. And after that, we added reductive EQ and cut out some of the high frequencies.
So while Upsurd was playing around on the piano, I grabbed my guitar and tried to come up with a melody that complements the piano melody, and I came up with this. The guitar basically just follows along with the piano chords with a little bit of variation here and there. So for effects on the guitar, we added this guitar rig with the Cool Vintage Clean preset. Basically just makes it sound a little bit more vintage, warm, gritty. We added a bit of chorus, fruity chorus with the default settings I think, and turned it down a bit. And then a simple low-cut filter.
To make the sample a little bit more ambient and vibey, I added this pad, which is basically just a layer of the piano progression. As always, we put some effects on it. First of all, we had this plugin. It's basically automation, volume automation to fade it in. 2 equalizers, one to get rid of some frequencies in the low end, and the other equalizer to get rid from some frequencies in the high end. Then we added the little micro shift from Sound Toys. It's a chorus plugin. The 5th plugin is Crystallizer, also from Sound Toys, and it makes the pad a little bit more shimmy, dreamy. The last effect is Decapitator, also from Sound Toys, together with an automation clip, so the distortion and saturation comes in a peak at the end.
After that, I added a very simple bass line with my bass guitar, basically just following the root note of the chords. I'm gonna show you what the sample sounds like so far together with the bass. For the effects, we added a simple EQ, a compressor, some guitar rig with the exactly right preset. For some more ambience in the sample, I added this guitar melody. I just played one note at the start of every bar and then kind of gave it that pitch down feeling with the tremolo bar of the guitar. For effects, I just added some reverb, a bandpass EQ and a bit of delay. To bring in more of the organic and soulful vibe, we added a melody with this Kalimba. It's a very simple melody, but using live instruments always gives samples like this a great live feeling. We kept the Kalimba pretty dry, just adding some EQ and a delay.
In the next step I added an element that you will find in many soul songs. It's an E-piano and Rhodes. And I played a little top melody and some chords, and it sounds like this. In the next step I added some strings to give it a more dramatic feeling and highlight some parts in the sample, so it sounds like this. On the strings we used only two effects, a reductive equalizer, put a reverb on it to give it more body, more room.
We're almost done with the sample now. We just added a few more things, like for example this organ one shot. Sounds like this. And we added a pretty cool effect by adding this pitch automation and pitching it one octave up whenever the chords start playing. Sounds like this. I think it really adds a lot to the sample and gives it this uplifting mood that makes this beat really unique. The sample is pretty much done now. We just added lots of ambience, texture and a little drum loop, which sounds like this. Then we arranged the sample a bit and gave it a few different parts, just so we have more freedom when using it for the actual beat.
For the drums we came up with sounds from this kit called Real Drums Volume 1, and it sounds basically like drums that were recorded in a studio. We tried to get the right amount between a bouncy and defined drum line, so we built this kick and snare pattern. You see it's not too playful, but it has this ghost notes in the kick and also a snare layer and a double snare at the end, which adds a nice rhythm but keeps it very simple. After that we added a very defined hi-hat. It's a simple two-step pattern. Added some open hats, add some hats for variation, and that's basically what it is. So play it all together, sounds like this.
To make it sound more realistic and bouncy, we added a little drum fill at the end, which sounds like this. Since we cut out the low frequencies of the sample, we had to add a new bass line for the beat, which sounds like this. I also played it with my bass guitar and just followed the root notes of the sample. So that's basically it for the beat. We just arranged it a little bit. For the intro we added a bit of texture with this vinyl noise and some birds chirping. Then we added the drum fill at the end of the intro. And we let everything drop. We also added this organ effect again, just to layer it and make it stand out more. Right here we switch it up with a different part of the sample. Then we took out the drums for a little bridge part. And let it drop into the last part of the beat. And for the outro we just let the sample play out and do a little fade out at the end. If you're still here, thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this little breakdown. And we also hope you enjoyed the EP. Make sure to stream it on Spotify, Apple Music or wherever else. For some of you who enjoy the EP, we have a little surprise.
We came up with the idea to make a little gift box for everyone who's enjoying the EP with some things that are matching the mood of the whole project. So we put a tape in this box with the whole EP on it, although very few of you might have a tape recorder, but I think it's very nice for decoration. And we also documented some steps here and also outside with an analog camera and captured some nice shots. So we also will put 2 to 3 pictures in this box and some stickers with our cover. It's just a little gift and appreciation for everyone who's enjoying and listening to our EP. Thank you so much for being with us and have a nice day.